I'm not stupid.
I'm not lazy.
I'm not slow. Not unfocused.
I'm not dumb.
Kids with learning difficulties are not what they appear to be.
Welcome to Las
In fact,
Vegas
a lot
Front
of
Row
these kids
Center
are-
Stage with your host, the man with the most, Mr. Radio himself, Fran Sullivan. He'll take you here and there all over Las Vegas from past to present day. Take it away, Fran.
Good afternoon and welcome to Front Row Center Stage. I'm here with a very good friend of mine, Lary Glen Anderson, who is a entertainer for the last 25 years here in Las Vegas, and he's played probably every venue here in town. And we're going to get into that in a little bit. He's chomping at the bit to do that, but I'm holding him back here. just
Love it.
He's a funny man, which you're going to find out very shortly how funny. I've had him on the show a few times in the past 3-4 years, and he's always made a lot of people laugh, including himself. He enjoys laughing. This guy, he enjoys himself, but that's what makes a good comedian. You know, somebody can laugh at themselves, and they laugh at everything, but they can also laugh at themselves. And he comes from good stock. I'm not going to mention his family background, but he comes from a good family background. And this is our first show live.
Yes.
On the air.
This is cool.
Look at that TV going and 3 cameras in here.
Look like a sports
and,
announcer.
I was told this is the only radio network that's doing this here in Las Vegas. First class place. I knew I came to the right radio station years ago. They were saying, why do you want to go there? Because I knew it had a lot of class, yes. Brett Grant. And it's true, you know, the people here it's an old station. It's like a family type station. You know, they've got lots and lots of people. You got over 200,000 people, you know, that do business with the station.
Can you hear me? I would come up for the Christmas party.
Well, the Christmas parties you have to be. It's a number, right? It's a number. Family. It's a
we'll
number, and it only goes to 12. You know what I mean? If you're not going to be in it. You know, there's so many things to talk about. This is our very first show. I'm very excited. I hadn't written anything down at all. Kind of off the cuff, huh, Larry?
Yeah, we're off the cuff with Lary Glen Anderson.
Just off the cuff with Lary Glen Anderson. We didn't write anything down. I didn't ask Larry to write anything down. And I just want to explain and tell people about this station, about our show, what we do, how we do it. And actually, people can get to see me now if you hadn't got an idea what I looked like or saw me driving or in a supermarket or anything. Now you can chase me down the
post office, but that's
post
not
office. Yeah, you saw my face in the post office.
No,
do you know? Last Saturday we had one of the icons of show business here in the station doing small little stories. And that's Rich Little. He was doing small little stories. I had mentioned to his agent, you know, what would be nice, you know, I met her about 2 months ago, and she's a very, very nice lady, Jerry. And Jerry Fisher, her name is. And I said to her, you know what would really be fun? If Rich Little, with all his stories, he's been around so long, and he's done every possible venue. You know, he's done television. He's done movies. He's done Vegas. He's done Broadway. He's done England. He's done, he's just done it all. And you get to do that when you're a Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Really, seriously. He's the Frank Sinatra of voice impressions, which you know because that's what you did.
He's a grandpapa.
He's the guy that you followed.
Yes, for years.
He came in Saturday. He loved the idea. I said, if we could do like a moment with Rich Little on the show. Now, this was before we were doing 5 days a week. Now we're doing 5 days a week instead of a few days a week. We're up to 5 now. And we're on live stream video around the country, around Vegas, around the country, around the world, which I'm so excited about.
The Chinese love us.
Well, I don't know about the Chinese loving us, but Alan knows. I've been waiting a long time for this. I'm going to put my hands out, my tentacles out to people in Europe.
Great.
And we're going to have them listening to this show on this station.
Yes.
Guarantee you they're going to be listening to you, Larry,
Well, I hope
because I'm
so.
going to have you on at certain times.
Great.
And that may be in Rome. It may be in
Let's do like the Romans do. I love those baths.
the
Roman
baths.
cows.
Yes. All right. We're going to do number 10. Not yet, though, Alan, but we're going to do a number 10 presentation. And we're going to do a moment with Rich, probably in
Great.
another 5 minutes or so.
Good, much
Maybe
better.
quarter after. You want to do a quarter after? And so everybody get an idea what we're going to be doing every day. We're going to take a moment with Rich Little. He's going to tell us one of his stories. He only has 12,000. He had a book here. Remember the book he had sitting here? He had a book here. It was 3 inches thick of his stories.
Oh,
it's a book that he's written, and he hasn't published. It's not published yet. Yeah. And I said, well, we'll see what we can do. Maybe who knows? You know, you never know. You know how that works. You know, we'll see what we can do with that. And we did a live show with him up at Sienna Italian Restaurant, 9600, 9500. Which you were there. You came in.
Yes, that was fun.
And it's an Italian restaurant up on Sahara. And,
I think it's 5,900 or something.
90.
90. Oh, it's farther up there.
Yeah, don't go to 59 because
No,
you won't get anything if you go up there.
there is just no Italian restaurant there.
You're not going anywhere. And for the people out there that have been wondering, do I wear glasses? Yes, I do.
Good.
And this is 9500 West Sahara. Their phone number, by the way, is 360-3358. 360-3358. And I'm here to tell you, if you want the best Italian deli,
yes, it was,
and the best Italian sit-down dinner, you have to go up and try the Sienna Italian, authentic
the
Italian.
food was delicious. We had lunch there. It was just incredible. It really was
unbelievable. And the
waiters were good too. They were real.
Yeah, the place, it fools you when you go there. You don't think it's going to be as beautiful as it is, but it's gorgeous inside. Very, very European style. Giancarlo is the chef and owner of the place.
I just brought my passport and fell at home.
Yes, you did.
Sorry.
All right, I got your dossier here, Larry.
Oh, good.
And how we fixed for time for a moment with Rich Little.
Come on, Richard.
Well,
he's a great guy. Very personal.
I think you're going to like what you hear here. He's just stories that he knows, true stories. It's all true stuff. He didn't make
got a lot
up.
of them, too.
And he spent so much time in Washington and, in the White House. I mean, he was always invited there, amongst other places. I mean, like I'm saying, here's a moment with Rich Little. We're back on the air.
Well, it's a bit of a
We're
delay
back.
there. Okay.
Okay. The thing with a business, in any business that you have to get certain kinks out, whether it's a restaurant or a bar business or a shoe business. It doesn't matter, the racking's not proper, for this type of shoe. You don't find that out till after you spent tons of money for the racks, and this isn't right for this. And the same thing applies audio-visual equipment. But, I mean, there's so much detail in a setup like this. You have 3 cameras. You have engineers behind us. You have an engineer in front of us. Actually, I have an engineer right beside me, which is Lary Glen Anderson. He has a radio station himself. But so he knows firsthand. And if you get one little glitch somewhere, it can just kind of destroy
The hums are the worst.
What?
The hums.
The hums are the worst. Well, what I'm trying to explain is this is new. You know, we're this is my first show, and I expected maybe a little something. You know what I mean? But my first show, broadcasting live.
Podcast.
Not podcast. Yeah, not my first show, but excuse me, I beg your pardon. But in any event, we're okay. We're going to have. We'll probably have this fixed by tomorrow, won't we, Alan? Yes, we will, and we'll play it again tomorrow, and maybe we'll play another little 2-minute one on the tail end tomorrow to make up for it, because this is really, really funny stuff that Rich Little did for us, and he's going to continue to do. He wants to continue to do this.
That's great.
With me and the station, and I love it. Yeah, he wants to do on Saturdays.
Yeah, it works, you know.
Saturdays are his days. I'm sitting here with a very good friend, old friend of mine. I know Larry now for a little over 10 years, I would imagine. And that's a long time to know somebody.
Yeah.
You know, I know.
I used to know myself, but...
The Lary Glen Anderson Show. Now, I'm just going to give you a little idea of what Lary Glen Anderson does. He's a comedy voice impersonator. He's a singing impressionist. He also is a singer. A constellation of stars and celebrities. This is a fantastic show with a live band. And below is a list of the celebrity voices you could hear today. Let's see. And I'll go and I'll give you just a few. Oh, the entertainers. This here is New York. No. We could call somebody. Yeah. Okay. Somebody's just handed me a note and I was trying to read it. Thanks, Alan.
Straight off the press there.
Well, it kind of is.
You know.
Comedians, for voice impressionists, he does Rodney Dangerfield, of course.
I know that guy. Nice guy. I'll tell you for sure. What a joint you got here, huh? You got a beer? What a guy. You're from Hawaii, right? God bless you.
And, of course,
Aloha.
He was giving me a back pain with Don Knotts, and as you were doing the other show here earlier, Alan, he was giving me a show in the back room with Don Knotts. And
wow. The whole thing happened right here. Let's nip her in the bud. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I keep you laughing, I'll tell you.
Yes, you do. Paul Lynn is another one.
I love people. The name's Paul Lynn, and where we're going. You look both ways when you drive, but always remember in your mirror you might see Paul Lynn.
He does a lot of different actors. I'm just going to read a little bit here.
Thank you. I can't read. It's been a problem since childhood.
And once again, I'm with Lary Glen Anderson, who is he's an all-around entertainer. He does, he did Elvis Presley. He did for years.
Yeah, on the Elvis Mania for years.
Yeah.
We did Elvis. Actually, it was for 25 years. I did the King of Rock and Roll, and we traveled all over the United States, and a big, semi behind us with a big band and type of thing, and we did smaller shows too, but hit Vegas back in the 80s, and in and out California, everywhere, went on tour, and I was also doing voice impression shows a little bit on the side. Always did voices all my life, always did voice impressions, and I first started with Carol Burnett, of all people, if you can imagine that. Well, of course, I had the higher voice, younger boy.
Did you really?
Yeah, really did.
You started with her.
Her was my first voice.
I'm
showing the Anderson sisters, Luke and I, very special guest. We have Harvey Korman and, that type of thing. And then I just kind of progressed from there. And singing was an after thing. Okay. For some reason, I just really liked Elvis Presley, and there was like 2 Elvis impersonators in the United States at that time, and I became the third one. And there was Johnny Hara and a guy named Alan, and then everybody else started popping out in the woodwork. And now there's like 3,000. Got midgets and everybody. I'm Elvis. But I don't know what they are, but they're different. No, but it's, the Hara, everybody wants to be Elvis. Because he's an icon. Well, come on, we all loved Elvis. And there's only one Elvis. And these guys are trying to keep the name alive, which is fantastic for them. And But you can't live off of just doing Elvis. I always had a day job, or I made a job. I've done so many things in my career as an entertainer and just as a layman. I wash dishes. Anyway, that was a piece of paper I just tore. I do that. It's a good luck thing, But I've always had a job. If you didn't have a job, I made a job because I knew that, not being the big star like Rich Little or like whatever, it only lasts so long. And you need those right people to keep pushing you. You need the money behind you. You need the right agencies, the right, and everybody has someone else in mind sometimes, So you're now on a list. Well, I didn't want that to happen, so I did it myself. And we got good. I got ahead. We did it. Elvis Mania was a big name. Kind of put me on the map a little bit. Did a lot of commercials. Had a lot of fun with it. And it was more of a kind of a channeling thing. I know that sounds a little different, Look, he's channeling Elvis, but in a good way. It became such a great show, and I found out that I had other talents and different doors open.
When you said that you were channeling Elvis, that handwriting appeared right there, like a signature right there. It looks like a.
What's it say? Butterfly. I don't know.
It looks like an EV.
Wow,
EVP.
incredible.
That's what it looks like. You've heard of those EVPs?
Yeah,
They
EVPs.
use them, don't they?
I don't know. EC. I don't know.
EVP,
The ghost and stuff.
But you were talking about channeling something, and that wasn't there a minute ago.
No.
So
That's
maybe you have something because you.
Well, I wrote a book. Did you know about the book? Don't you?
You're going to talk about the book too,
Okay,
but that's you have to get done with Elvis.
With the Elvis thing, yeah.
Well, seriously, for 1 minute, I really do want to make this statement. I was with Rich. I was with Larry over at the Rio Hotel, and I was coming out of one of the showrooms. This is about a year ago, and an Elvis impersonator came walking up, and who was working the showroom there. Saw him and me, and he came over because I had him on my radio show, this particular Elvis, and I introduced Larry to Charlie, and Charlie said, weren't you the number 1 Elvis here in Las Vegas? Weren't you voted the number 1 Elvis?
That was nice of him. Really was.
And I didn't know that.
You want to forget those days. I've lost so much weight in and out.
That was a great thing. That was a great compliment.
Yeah, it really was. And it's nice to be remembered by everyone, because my whole thing is, what do you want to leave behind when you're gone, when you leave this earth? And, what did you do? Hey, I work like everybody. I'm a PR host at a hotel, which is in, may I say this, which is in G, Nevada.
Oh, come on, please.
Yeah.
No.
The Ghost Strike. I have a great time out there, and they've been very good to me.
That's a Caesars proproperty, isn't it?
No, it's a MGM property.
That's an MGM property. Forgive me.
And,
I wanted to throw a little plug
doing
for
pizza
Caesars.
right now. Anyway, it's I've been very blessed, and I am enough. Not a lot of money at all. I just enough to get by, and I'm very kind of happy with that. And I know there's a day that's coming, things will be better. So I've always had that faith of leaping ahead and knowing what comes to you comes back. What you give out comes back, and that's one of my big beliefs. But Fran, it's been a good ride. 56 years old.
I can give you a little hint on something. Years ago, as a matter of fact, it was a job in Indianapolis. I got hired. I was down in Florida to work at a radio station in Indianapolis. True story. Now, I get to Indianapolis. The owner of the station tells me that I stayed at the Murat Hotel in Indianapolis. At the time, was old, classy hotel, and that's where he lived. And that's where I lived. And And he put me up. He wanted to train me how to sell,
Yeah.
He had a team, which
Yeah, right.
they're pretty good salesmen. It's why anyway, that's how I got in it. But when I was there, I'm giving this to you because you have an open door to this, so I want to throw it to you. There was an old woman. I was probably 21, 22, and there was an old woman that lived on the 7th floor, which is where I lived.
Mm-hmm.
They rented these suites at these hotels, these old-time hotels. They rent these big suites. And she was about 80.
Wow.
Multi-millionaire. Now, this is what, oh, God. It'll come to me in a minute. His name. God, he's probably looking down and saying, what the hell's the matter with you, kid? He said, come on, I want to introduce you. He said, listen, she's going to love you. You marry her.
You marry her.
Hang around with her for about 10 years the most. You're going to get all the money. She has
Where
nobody.
are you going with this one?
Well, you're down there. You're the greeter. You're the greeter down at a major hotel.
Oh, you want the fun thing.
You got
I
all
everybody.
those money
Yeah,
women come in.
I don't even worry about
they
that.
got money, Larry.
I don't want.
You can find one
I would do it
85,
myself. Do it myself.
89 years old.
Henry, boy, get over here. Give me a smacking.
They probably come look for you anyway.
Well, we never know. I just
They
capital lucky.
probably do come look for you.
Little
don't
Calvary guy. Yeah, that's a good one. No, it'll come. No, you're wrong, Jim. It's going to come back.
What's going to come back?
Everything.
Everything's coming back.
Well,
Well,
we're going to get my memory together after the open heart surgery. I don't know who I am or where I'm going. Where are we? Just joking. And
we need to put a venue
Don't be
together.
so serious over there. He's watching all the buttons. Oh, I guess.
We need to put a venue together.
Yes, we do.
At the Plaza.
Boy, wouldn't that be fun?
At the big showroom at the Plaza. It sits 450 people.
Mm-hmm.
I got a fabulous idea for it. For weekends. I swear to you.
Don't tell everybody. They might get the same
I'm
idea.
not going to say what the idea is.
We're
but
on TV. Hi, Mom.
Oh, that's right. We are on television,
Yes.
too. I got a great idea.
Can't
for
pick
it,
your
though.
nose. Just joking. Anyway, sorry.
Don't pick my nose.
Rich was doing those voices. He was doing the presidents, and
Yes.
he talks about presidents and stuff. And I'm listening to Rich, of course, he's the master of them all.
Yes.
And you pick up more things out of voice impressionist, what their little things are, the little ins and out, But watching the regular guy, sometimes it's kind of hard, So he's doing Ronald Reagan. He's, this is rattling in my ear. Let me just save my hearing aid. When they get to be my age, you got to breathe a lot, my fellow Americans. God bless you. And it's the whole thing, And the voices Rich did, I also do. I'm going, why do I do that better? Did he do that better? You're not going to tell him that. I'm not going to even bother him about voices at all, And then, of course, you go, well, there are some voices, too. I go, oh, don't. This is his deal, You don't, But, no, the man, to give that man the respect that he deserves. I knew David Fry, Freddie Travalena, of course, Danny Gans that passed away,
right.
George Kirby, and a bunch of other voice impressionists I've met through the years. And I've got a lot of their albums and stuff. And it takes a lot of work, takes a lot of concentration. New voices are hard to do sometimes. It took me almost a year to get Reagan down. And Don Knox just came to me in my sleep. Well, I don't know what happened. Where's my shoes? Where is my pajamas? Where I got sick. But now Jimmy Stewart is one of the favorites for Rich, and everything you do, you just got to move the mouth around and just make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Where Harvey goes, nothing grows. But yeah, it's a fun thing, and all the standards are fun. The standard voices.
Lary Anderson, you're fun.
I don't know.
I remember. This is a true story. I'm with him down at the Bootlegger restaurant. They hadn't been open that long, and I'm sitting at the bar, me and him, and having a drink, and the whole conversation.
Which I'm known to do.
Yes, you were known to do that.
Yeah, we don't do that.
You were. I don't know how many different people you were. We were having the conversation. You were half a dozen of them, though.
Never lonely.
And.
Where I was looking at there's a poster in this office over here. It had all the presidents lined up. Do you see that little stick there?
Back over here.
Yeah, and I was counting all the different voices I do of all the different presidents, except Obama. I don't do them. I just never had the.
Well, you were big with Lincoln and Washington.
Yeah, the teeth
and
thing.
Adams and all, right?
Something wrong with that guy. Waterloo or whatever. That's the other one. That's just French. But, yeah.
Well, you got, let's see who you got. You got Bob Hope here. You got Jack Benny here. You got Jerry Lewis. You got Bill Cosby. You got Red Skelton. Mr. Ed. Mr.
Hello. I'm Mr. Ed. Hello. Hello. Answer my phone that way every morning. Hello. I'm Jerry Lewis. Howdy's my rabbit? Lady, I love you.
Jerry Lewis. Oh, my God.
Oh, Jerry.
You know what? I was thinking of there's a Consignment. Colleen's Consignment down on Pecos.
Oh, yeah.
25,000 square feet. This Colleen's Consignment. Can you believe it? 25,000 square feet of furniture.
Jeez.
But it's really, really beautiful furniture. You know, estate furniture. And,
right.
And, you know,
they sell it for estates.
Well,
or what, they buy them.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, people come with. And when you said Jerry Lewis, in my mind, because they're the types of people that have furniture in places like that.
Exactly.
Not the whole place.
No,
don't get me
but
wrong,
maybe
you know,
a couple pieces.
But yeah, because the decorators come in every so often, and the wife don't like this. You know, she's had it 9 months.
I bought a lamp that would belong to Houdini there. Could never turn it on. Could never find it. Matter of fact, I walked out with something. I remember. No, but I know. Yeah, it's a great place. I've been there. It is a great place.
Oh yeah, they got everything. You can go in there. It's big.
Get lost.
Big. I'm trying to.
Fell asleep. I'm on the couch. They woke me up when they opened the place in the morning. Yeah, she's a.
Oh, you know what else? They had jewelry. They had a beautiful jewelry department. See, you go in there. That's like a sleeper.
That's a consignment too, huh?
Yeah, but that's just kind of a sleeper place. You go in there, you can find some really nice stuff and buy it right.
Yeah.
You know, because you wouldn't think that it's going to be there.
Yeah.
But it is there, and people put it there, and they want X amount of dollars. They don't want, not looking for big dollars.
No.
They just want to get rid of it. So it's a nice place to go and
their mother-in-law like that. I put it. No, it's just. Can't you just sit over there and put a price on her? Just joking. I love her.
In any event, it's down.
Actually, I'm divorced,
if you're interested, you want to stop in down there. It's 6330 South Pecos. 6330 South Pecos. Big, beautiful strip mall down there, and you can't miss it. 6330 South Pecos, Suite 104. Go in, say hello to Ted. A lot of girls.
Strip mall, always naked down
there.
He says, over here, hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just.
We got. Yeah. Tell me.
I'm thinking of when you said Jerry Lewis.
Yes.
And you did the Jerry Lewis impression.
Yes.
I was thinking of that because that's the kind of. It's the kind of furniture you get when you go in there. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Now, there's basic things in there, too. You know, you could go in that somebody...
I miss
basic,
old,
sharp
put-together furniture.
That's
you're not going to buy this at some little furniture store. You know, it's all balsa wood.
Some of them, you won't even find it.
No, right. Yeah, some names are probably that old and that are that quality of furniture.
Like brand new. You know, it's all brand new stuff.
Yeah.
But in any event, that's enough for... it was just a
movie in there.
It was a traveling thought.
Thank you. I have that happen to me all the time. Where are we? Let's try.
Kirk Douglas.
Kirk Douglas. You know.
Burt Lancaster.
Oh, he's fun too, I'll tell you.
Gregory Peck, Clint Eastwood.
Peck, good evening. I'd like to say a few words. The boys from Brazil are the boys. Now, listen to me. You need to understand the whole thing about the world changing. Change it my way.
The Boys from Brazil. I haven't heard that in a long time. Yeah. That was a fabulous
It was movie. A great show.
Wow, was that
Danny,
good.
Put down the dog. Tell the dog I am your friend.
You know. It's like a movie in your head. I always go back to Paulin. I don't know what that's all about. I guess it's kind
of
like
Paulin.
Kind of a comfort zone, you know.
Well, he was so likable.
I loved him.
And he would always be on the squares.
Hollywood Squares. Yeah. I was right in the middle. Half snockered all the time, but had a great time. I forget we're on podcast. Yeah, we're everywhere.
Yeah, we're moving around the world. Wait till I make the calls I'm going to make over the weekend because I got to.
I love prank calls. I love rumors. I love rumors. You know the dirty old what are they? This kind of reminds me of Lily Tomlin. You know, the opera and laughing. You know.
Oh yeah.
Gracious, good afternoon. This is Miss Tomlin, the telephone company. Run your ringy dingy.
it just kind of has this look. I just
Yeah,
kind
it does. So do you. You kind of have that look too.
the man with the
Even
rubber face.
Even Alan thought you looked like Lily.
Oh, look at you. You big old brute.
Speaking of that, do you need this, Alan? Back, man.
Yeah, every voice that you do has a signature. And what today is, some of these actors don't have a signature, don't have a real personality. So they're hard to do. Oh, do you do that guy? No, I don't do him because I can't pick up his whatever, his signature this guy has. Now, like during Rich's time, and my time too, our time, it's everybody's time. It's timeless. It's a good commercial for a jewelry store. Anyway, these different voices that we do, like Nixon had a real My Fellow American show. Had that real thing, had that real, and like Hugh Humphrey, my fellow Americans, how are you? I'm Hugh Humphrey, and how, had all that character to it.
Yeah.
What do you got today? Come on, you ain't got a lot.
No,
you got some, but you ain't got a lot.
No,
the John Waynes,
ones, you got the De Niro, you got
I know you. You know me.
Pacino.
I know Al Pacino too. You're a good man. Al Pacino.
Yeah, he just. You're right. There's not much.
Yeah, no. So it's
they're almost.
Like everybody goes, Larry, you just do dead guys. But I was. Fran, I was going to tell you the other day. I got a thing on the YouTube. I was watching Jonathan Winters.
Right.
And he's my favorite too. One of my great favorites. And to do Jonathan, you got to have this. Oh yeah. I'm Jonathan Winters. How are you? I'm Mike Frickard. It's kind of overwrite. God, the guy's still alive, still with us. I know he's a little ill, as I understand. I've always been ill myself. I went into different homes, lovely places. Don't have doors and keys and locks and all sorts of things. But he went through that period too.
Yes, he went through that period.
But God bless him. We all stopped drinking, both of us. But he was a master of ad-lib, and that's where I have the show called Off the Cuff, Lary Glen Anderson, which we help me put it together, where people can ask me different things. What would it be like Richard Nixon or Bobby Kennedy or Ted Kennedy or whoever, whatever voice that I do, it's on a list we put on the table. We can do things.
Right.
Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to be the same in any of these shows I ever do, which are going to come up real soon. We're working on that too, I tell you. But no, seriously, it's a challenge.
What we don't see anymore, which is what I spoke to you about a few times, was the commercials that people do. Instead of doing the voices, they're so funny. When you get a voice that people know, and the commercial's got some
zip to it,
funness
to it.
Yeah,
you're going to remember.
Then you got this great voice. You remember what they're talking about. It's not just some woman or some kid or some guy just spieling something off,
They all sound
90 miles an hour, you know what I mean?
I was listening to one of the stations. I can't see what it was, but it was, the one commercial was already over with, and it was into the third commercial. I go, God, it all sounds the same. I didn't get to catch up with it because it's the same voice.
Right.
They're back to back.
Yeah, same voice.
And in radio, you've got to be uniqueness. And this is where your thing is very unique. And
well, we're trying to put something together that's very unique, and
you are
little by little.
It's here.
Yeah.
We're here, folks. Remember me? I was in a cereal box. They're still looking for me.
Well, the nice thing, we started off the show saying that this is the only podcast radio
it is
in the city. That's we're out there,
and I have a big feeling it's going to be very big, especially with shows like this.
Well, I haven't.
We interrupt this program to bring a special news bulletin. One of these deals. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Walter Winchell.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Walter Winchell. Today's. Hello, Chip to shore.
We have so many entertainers here in town. So many movie stars that they come into town. That we can have on the show one way or another.
Yes,
it's. I'm kind of funny in my own way, we have it put together, but we don't really have it put together. Because it's all a trial and error type.
Yeah. But you see how things grow.
But it grows. It grows. And
we have 5 minutes to go to commercial time or so.
Yeah.
5 seconds. Just keep going. Good. Thank you very much.
Great. Beautiful. Great.
I get lost.
What we're trying to do is, we
for a
had this
commercial.
first show.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things we could have put into it, like commercials. We could have loaded it up with commercials. I didn't want to do that.
No.
I want to be on the air, and I want to speak, and I want you to have your time. I want to speak a little bit about Alan. Alan's a producer that I've been working with over here for quite a few years here now, and he helps me out. I mean, like, forget it. I mean,
what a board, man. I saw him down at that when we did the thing with Rich, and boy, he had all the everything there. And I've been in the radio all my life, but to see him, boom, boom, bang, boom, boom, and right on, I'm going, geez, you want to come to work for me? Work for K Ghost FM 101.3. No, we just have a little radio station up there in Good Springs. You might get lost up there.
Well, you can give it out again.
It's K Ghost FM 101. Well, K Ghost Radio is kghost.com. And olympiaradio.com. But K-Ghost, like K, and then I got Ghost, put it together. It's kind of a spooky thing. And you just type it in there, and there it is. Big Ghost. But it's a fun. Yeah, we have 50, 60.
Well, I know you do.
UFO stuff, Ghost.
You do a lot of stuff on that station, and you can because it's yours.
It's mine.
It's
yes. We actually, I've got right now 5 internet stations that we're working on. 5 of them. Hit Talk Radio. Confession Radio. Oh, that's going to be a good one.
Confession Radio.
Oh,
I always wanted to do a confession
I got the name for it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Can I be the host of it?
Sure. I was going to Playboy Bunny to do that. Cab drivers down their stories.
You got to have the guy taking the women's calls. Not
that's
the girls
right.
taking the guys'
switch
calls.
off.
Guys, well, don't be talking.
I just got out of women's clothes. Leave me alone.
You'll never be able to put it on the air.
Yeah. It'd be a lot of fun.
That would be fun.
But like I say, this guy's done a great job for you, and it's hard to find a good engineer that you have a good rapport with and a good chemistry with. And that's, of course, in radio. I was down at another station down here. We had these night shows and stuff. Chemistry with the board guy wasn't that good. Like, what are you guys doing? Well, if you don't follow the show, buddy, I don't need you as a board man. I want a guy who's going to have fun with us and really make the show smoothly go like your show does.
Weren't you on with me down? We were down on.
Yes, we were.
Me and you,
yes,
and that crazy boy. We're talking about the board man.
Exactly.
Where was he? It was another station. I don't want to mention it. It was, as a matter of fact, it was the first station I started on here in town, which was the first class.
It was huge. He just wasn't with it, man. He just didn't get the gap. I get the gap.
He didn't care. He didn't care. We were like a flash in the pan to him.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I guess because he didn't care. Well, flash in the pan. Maybe we were.
Yeah.
But sure.
Oh, I'm on Facebook. That's right. Thank you. See, this is the guy who keeps us straight. On Facebook, LaryGlenAnderson.com and KGhostRadio.com on your Facebook. If you haven't got a face, you got no books, just don't turn in. What page are we on? Anyway, Fran, you got something really good going here, folks. I hope out there in Radio Lounge, if you're listening to us out there. And
we've got a live chat question here from, I think it's Gleva. How did Larry get his start in Las Vegas?
Oh, are you going to love this one?
Can we hear her, or are we going to be able to hear her? Or just
she can see me. I got you, sweetheart.
They got it in there.
Well, I was first started to kick the can in my mother's high heels. Not just joking. No, I first got my start. That's really a neat question. We did the Landmark as Elvis, and then had a couple other little shows. But it was, I tell you, I made more money out of Vegas than in Vegas. Everybody's going for the same pot, like the big fish in the small pond, that concept. That's exactly kind of did the Elvis shows, and of course did some commercials. But I'm from the Pacific Northwest, Olympia, Washington. It's the water. It's artesian. Oh, Jim, I'll take your watches. But they're little guys. Get out of here. But no, it's how I started back there. It was a shot. Michael Jackson actually got me the job at the Landmark. At that time, I believe he was trying to buy the place, and I had quit Neverland, and that's when I really hit the Vegas scene and did it. And that's when I met a lot of nice, wonderful people that helped me along the way.
Now, I want to stop you just for one moment.
Yeah.
This is what Larry's saying is actually true. I mean, I know people were saying Michael Jackson, but he really did work there. So this what he's telling you. Glover asked the question, how did Larry get his start in Las Vegas? And really, you're getting a true answer.
This
right
is
now.
this is
I know this,
how it happened.
But I mean, people are watching it live on television. They're probably saying, Michael Jackson.
Yeah, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
I did a moonwalk. I was on the moon.
So go on. I mean, Michael Jackson got you at the homework, and that was a big hotel.
Yeah. And then they had a little radio station down there. I don't know what it was, KLAV. I don't know who it was back down in the day, but I remember that when they were closing the place, they're sure pulling the stuff out of the wall real fast. Everything. I mean it. But I was there for about maybe it was right after Melinda, I believe it was, and then upstairs was open, and then they had the coasters, diamonds, and platters came in, and Cornell Gunther. So I met Cornell there. It was at the Landmark. And, that's, well, boy, does that bring back memories. I was sober then. No, just joking. But it just keeps coming back to you, I go to the AA meetings. I go, hey, you're welcome back. So I'm just telling them I'm not coming back. No, that's nothing. I love the whole place. Great stories. God, what a movie you can make out of them. No, I love AA. Don't get me wrong.
Larry, it's your floor.
But anyway, the Michael Jackson. What was the question you asked me? I forget. I just go somewhere.
The question was, how did you get your start in Las Vegas, Nevada?
That was it.
And
I moved out and came back. I moved in and came back. I always came back to Las Vegas. It's to heat at me now. It's just. No special pills. No, but that's
now we're going to do something. I've been wanting to do this for a long time because now people can actually see him.
Yeah.
See, they see his face, and and they can always pull this back, right? This is going to be where they archived where people can see it again, right? Well, his father was a very, very famous singer, and if you go back in that archive and you look at the pictures, you're going to see his face.
Yes.
You'll see his
little white clouds that cried. We'll just leave it at that. How's that?
A little white cloud that cried.
And I'll tell you, because of that, I'm my own person. I'm the inner. I do my
but
own.
it's
I don't
nice
take
for
credit.
people to know that you had a very, very famous, illustrious, funny father. I mean, just the one story that whatchamacallit said about him.
Yeah,
where,
I know.
Where he hires him thinking about him 12 or whatever it was. I don't know, 3 years before. Comes to the door and the guy gained 150 pounds.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Somebody sent you a message.
It says here, free book to YouTube. No, Facebook, YouTube. We are over. Oh, wow, that's wonderful. 300, really? Wow, we love you out there. Remember me? I was famous in the 90s. No, but about the Michael thing, or which direction you want to go? Yeah, my dad was a performer, entertainer, and he was a great man. I was raised by two fathers and blessed, and I just didn't talk about those things those days.
No,
it's like
they didn't talk about those things those days. But they talk about them now.
Yeah.
And I always told you that from the time I met you. I wouldn't let anybody hold me down. My dad was Johnny Ray.
Yeah, well,
they would have known it. And the ones that had something bad to say were all jealous of him. The guy was a first-class guy.
He was.
I mean, he was on every television show. Dinah Shore. It didn't get any better than Dinah Shore.
But I got to know him.
Him and Dinah Shore. I think were running around before Burt Reynolds.
I know. Yeah. And Burt has no hair.
Yeah. Well, your father had nice blonde hair. He had hair just like you.
But but that's his day. This is my day, and that's the whole thing. And I don't want to be off his shirt tails, and that's always been a thing about me. Yeah, there's people that know that information, but why bring a sign? Hey, like Frank Sinatra's son, he's right off his dad's curtains, and I don't need that. My whole thing is to do it yourself. I mean, if you got an agent out there or someone's got a lot of money, could help us out. We're right with you.
Can you autograph this for me?
Sure, my dad's name?
I want this autographed. Okay.
But back to the Michael Jackson thing. People ask me that. I have a book out, and it's called.
The book.
It's called "I Can See Clearly Now," and this is such a loving book.
Who should get one?
Yeah, we should get one. Yeah, if we can get her address, just call her a number, and I don't know where to sign this at.
Yeah, I think that would be nice. You wanted to know about you inside that book. You put a lot of stuff.
Yes,
in there,
and it's all there.
There you go.
It's all there. But. People ask, what was it like to work for Michael? Was he a freak? I said, no, he was not a freak. Michael was a very, very special person. And Glover, we're going to get that book out to you, I promise you. Make sure we get your address somehow.
Yeah, make sure somebody gets her address.
And we'll be here a little after at this hour, but we've got a little bit of time here. But to make it very clear to everybody, Michael was a genuine, loving person. He was a little eccentric. Yes, okay, I would be too if I was in his world. I became a security guard up there, and then we became good friends. You know, how are you going to shut me up, you know? And they said, do not talk to him, don't look at him. And I didn't. He came to me. In fact, he scared me so much. It's like 4 a.m. He walks right behind me and goes, hello. I shut to the moon. You know, like, wow, where did that come from? I turn around, there's Michael Jackson, you know. Hi, how you doing? Well, you having a good time? This type of thing, you know. Yes, sir, no problem. You know, you could already speak, you know. And he just started laughing. And then he just come out and visit me every 10 minutes and brought me some tea. And it just was a very weird connection. It was like I knew his soul. I knew his he could think things I would know what he was trying to say. You know, I would say, you could get these people out of here. I'm kind of tired right now. I said, folks, we got to go right now, you know, this type of thing. You know, and I got to hang out with him a little bit.
Right.
You know? It wasn't a lot, but it was enough for me. Right. It was enough for us to have a relationship. Then he kept in contact with what I was doing. He went to my Elvis show at Earl Warren Showgrounds, dressed up as somebody else, and sat inside the bleachers in this huge entertainment place. I don't know what he wore. I saw your whole show, he says, you know, and I said, you're so great, you know, and he's just really loved Elvis. And, of course, you know, he married Elvis, Lisa Marie and everything else. But, the story, it's not all in the book, but it's a lot of it's there. Yes, I am psychic. Yes, I have that ability. And this was
right there.
Yeah, right there. And it's the weirdest thing how things happen. But it's a gift. And to me, it's not a gift to make money. It's a gift to either help or what have you. I don't do this. It's something that was given to me when I was younger, and after my open heart surgery, it's like someone turned on a faucet. And this is how that book came about. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but there were things in that book that could only be said by Michael Jackson. There were things in that book that were only at that timing when I wrote the book, before it even happened, was by Michael Jackson. He told me that his father would show up at the hotel. His brothers would show up at the hotel. During this time I'm writing the book, they showed up at the hotel. Of all places to go strike in Gene, Nevada. Come on. There's just so many things that happened. And the gentleman that helped me write this book, was Tony Stubbs. And, of course, he passed away, but he was a very well-known writer and about the psychic world and all this stuff. So he knew what I had and what I've been doing, and then I had channeled Michael's. And it's a gift. And with all these talents that I have, you know, hey, I had a rough life. You know, I couldn't read or write when I was younger. I was dyslexic. I was in school with a helmet, you know, and, you know, not actually, but that's his bus. But look at the guy next to me eating color crayons. What the heck? Eating glue. But no, but it was back in the 70s that way. They didn't know you couldn't. You had dyslexic or dyslexic. You couldn't read or write. And, you know, look at me now. I'm in radio. I do what I want to do, and it was rough. It really was. And but the gifts that you're given by God and who you are, and after you go through a certain part of life, you kind of find out who you really are, what you are. And you know, he's a hell of a nice guy, or he's a SOB.
Right. Exactly.
But no, like I say, I thank God and thank my friends and people. And that's why I just want to do my shows and live comfortably. You know, I'm tired of living in a school bus. Yeah, all aboard. No, just joking. I live in an RV. The school bus is the radio station. But I've been blessed. And the book really tells about the gift of love and what the other side's about. And it's just real special. It's called I Can See Clearly Now. You can get this on Amazon. And it's got 6 stars. It's doing very well. I give some of that money to a little charity thing I do. And people that can't hear don't want to hear from me. You know, it's something. You remember me, Christmas card or something. They receive. I had to pay taxes on the book. That was a whole new thing. You know, it's gone. Doing that well, huh? No, but anyway, it's something you want to pick up. It's on Amazon. It's I Can See Clearly Now by Lary Glen Anderson, and I hope you're blessed when you read it.
Well, Larry, you know, you've had an adventurous life, is what I think you've had. You had some kind of a life for sure, You had a lot of ups, a lot of downs, but
got that
a lot
second
of
chance at open
funds,
heart
you know.
surgery, and I'm going all the way for it now.
You know the one we missed is Johnny. Remember Johnny from Bootlegger?
Oh, yes.
We missed
Wasn't
Johnny.
he fun? God.
If we would ever been able to put that trio together, I really wanted to do that.
Fran, you've met so many people, and you're going
uh,
to have so many new stars, new people come to the show. You're going to do very well. And I just thank you very much for letting me come on the air with you, and I thank the folks out there to hear these stories.
Well, you're going to be on the show a whole lot, Larry. I got a whole lot of faith in you, but just doing favors for me and coming when I need you to come over and help me out like you did today. And but I wanted, listen, when I came to town, you were one of the first people I met in reality, and we were friends, and we were friends ever since, and I really wanted you to come on the show today with me. You know what else I really wanted on the show today was Crazy George. And I called Crazy George yesterday. George was on with me. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And
he's locked up right now. Crazy.
Well, he is locked up in the hospital. He was supposed to get an operation on his knee 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago. He still didn't do it. Today, he's going today. I called him yesterday. I said, he said, I'm going. I said, George, you were supposed to get this. I wanted you to come on the show tomorrow. You were supposed to get this done 5 weeks ago. And he said, well, I didn't for this reason, whatever the reason. So I said, well, everybody say a little prayer for George. Make sure his operation goes good. He had a really bad knee, and, he's got 2 bad knees, actually, but that one kept him, he couldn't work anymore.
Yeah.
And it hurt him, He fell down at the Tropicana. He was working at the Trop. He was working there.
Wow.
They wouldn't let him sit down. They kept making him walk the floors,
yeah, that's terrible.
And he ended up falling, and that did him in.
Yeah.
Well, he's not a kid. He's in his 50s, but
I'm
not
56,
that it's old, but
and feel 90.
Your bones start to hurt
things
a little
happen.
bit. So hopefully Georgie's okay, and Georgie will be on. Georgie had a nice following. He would come on, and people loved him, because he's crazy like you,
It.
And
it's that spirit of fun.
Pardon me.
Spirit of fun.
Yeah. We have there's so many entertainers out there. There's so many singers and models and actors and you name it. They're here in Vegas. They're everywhere, and they all don't have to be big stars because most likely someday they will be a big star. And even with that, it doesn't have to be a mega star. They could just be.
Michael said you're going to make it someday, Larry, and I really believe those words.
Well, there you go.
I really believe that.
There you go. When you have successful people tell you that you're going to be okay and you're going to make it, they usually know what they're talking about. When you have somebody that's been as successful as him, and he tells you that.
I'm just waiting when. It'll come. It'll come.
There was
and everybody should have that same goal to feel good about themselves. There will be a good day.
That's it.
That's your faith in
what
God.
it's about. Yeah, you keep your faith. Keep the faith, for sure. And Facebook, YouTube. And we had a whole bunch of hits, as here says this morning, huh? I hope that was for you, Larry.
Or for you.
And for me.
It's
Besides
your show.
Internet, we also are on Facebook, huh? And Twitter and YouTube and much more right now.
Great.
Whoa.
You have to tune in next
tomorrow.
Tomorrow. You're there tomorrow. Good.
We're here tomorrow.
All the time. It's great.
We're here
You'll
tomorrow.
love these shows, boy. You got a lot of friends. They don't know.
And
just me open that can, they'll all be coming out. Let's get on Fran's show,
And I'm looking forward to that because I do have fun when I get here. I have a nice time. I love.
It's the only show of its kind.
Well, I think it is the only show of its kind. You're right. I think you might be right about that.
It is.
But I love for people blow your horn.
Yes.
It's what it's about.
Open that window.
Open it. How are we looking for time here, Alan? 1 minute. We've got 1 minute. Listen, I want to say to everybody listening out there, no. We're done. We're second.
God bless.
We're off. God bless you.
Yeah.
I got some time? Okay. Thanks, Alan. We're going to kill you after the show. I just wanted to say I enjoyed the show with you today, and I truly do. I enjoy it every day, but I enjoyed my friend being with me, Lary Glen Anderson. And we're off now.
There we go.
Let me see